again, not a lawyer, but from the TV shows I've watched and the movies I've watched, when your witnesses don't show, your side isn't winning.
Yeah.
So
We've watched enough Law and Order and Suits to gather that.
exactly. So folk here.
I would get it if it was the other way around. Out of your 30 plus witnesses, 3 don't show up for one reason or another.
Sure.
You wake up late, you get in a traffic accident, you have a family emergency. But when the roles are reversed of 90% of your witnesses, 95% of your witnesses, no show, alarm bells.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulysses Zambrano,
bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
Whether you're a diehard fan who vividly remembers Longo's Game 162 just like us,
or you remember the early Devil Ray days of Wade Boggs or Carl Crawford,
we are here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this is our 6th season covering the Rays daily.
In every season up till 2024, they've gone to the playoffs, but you can still grab your favorite Rays gear, settle in, and subscribe to our Locked On Rays YouTube channel and other podcast platforms. You can also find us on the X and Instagram at Locked On Rays.
And
All right, I jumped the gun here. It's a Friday afternoon that we're recording this, so we're a little buzzy right now.
That's right. And this episode is brought to you by Game Time. Today's episode, don't go download the Game Time app, people. Okay, you know it. Create an account. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase, and that's it. Game Time.
We also thought maybe not done, but started the trial, the much ballyhooed trial for Wander Franco. Was supposed to begin yesterday. That is Thursday, but breaking news, who guessed it? The event has been postponed until June 2nd. The reports are that the delay in the trial that stems from his alleged relationship with a minor was the result of more than 30 witnesses not being present. So like 3 of 30, 3 of 35 were not present for the situation, which is interesting. I don't know what to think. My mind goes to payoff or payoffs forthcoming, but I don't know how that many people don't show up for some momentous occasion that they're supposed to appear for. I mean, it was traffic that bad in the DR that day? I don't know.
I mean, but let's just say more than 30 witnesses were not present. You said 3 were present, correct?
Yes, 3 of the 30 plus.
Come on. I mean, that if you don't think that that's fishy, I have to sell you.
I have some beachfront real estate in Siberia to sell you.
Yeah, that's a little bit more succinct. There's no way, man. I'm sorry. My head is going like yours. Payoff, possibly?
Yeah.
Question mark. My head's going to. Is this going to be forever postponed and not really get going? It's been almost 2 years now since that until the trial starts, because June 2025, I believe his last game was August 2023. So almost 2 years, man, of this going on.
I guess, does the DR not have right to a speedy trial? Because this is
not
anything
speedy.
But we are getting crazy into this. And I'm at the point where I want the trial to start and be over so we can have some finality to this thing. Either you're acquitted or you're guilty. I want the final story with all this, and we're going to have to wait. My guess is June 2nd rolls around, it's going to get delayed another 5 or 6 months.
Same.
That's the trajectory we're on.
100%.
Like the bond votes, they keep getting delayed.
I'm telling. I think there's going to be a whole postponement, and then maybe during this postponement, again, conspiracy theory here, all of this is alleged, right? How about if there's a reason of this postponement to talk deals? Hey,
Yeah.
let's get this off the table. We can work something out and drop the case. I mean, obviously, Wander doesn't want to have his fate delivered upon 3 to 5 judges, right?
Right.
He would rather just pay off whoever he wants to pay off and get on with his life. Let's also remember, yes, of course, there is an MLB investigation that is happening / will happen to see if Wander can even be let back in the league. But I don't know, man. If you have something as important as showing up to court, I don't know, maybe we're made different, but that's you don't you're not late.
Yeah.
You
That's why my mind goes to the worst possible thing.
yeah.
You have a young, rich, famous gentleman who has a circle of influence, and that circle of influence may be able to be utilized in a very, very poor country like the Dominican Republic. I don't know what the transition from the US dollar is to whatever type of money the DR uses, but I would imagine whatever he has in his bank account, you could pay off 30 plus witnesses if you
Well,
came.
isn't it that she was found? The mother was found with I think $60,000.
Correct. Yeah.
So I mean, $60,000 is a lot of money for us regular folk. People that are earning millions, not that much, not so much, I should say.
$60,000 to the mother of the alleged victim.
Correct.
The mother.
The
I
mother.
mean, yeah, she's got obviously questionable character, but if it only takes 60,000 US dollars to say, yeah, you can allegedly keep doing your thing, it's crazy what's going on.
That just opens up the possibility that you can buy off other people.
Yeah, it happens in the States.
Yes, it happens everywhere.
Yes.
I mean, it just, the purchasing power obviously differs from country to country, but the corruption knows no geographical boundaries. Corruption is it's universal, no matter where you are. Yeah.
We have more to discuss on this. We also have some comments from the listeners out there. We thought this was going to be a quick update, quick hitter. Hey, trial started. Nope, forget about that. We are getting delayed and there's some crazy stuff happening. So we've got a little bit more to talk about with that. But first, Ulysses, we have to tell the audience something very important.
I got to tell you that if you want to go to a football game, a basketball game, a baseball game, a theater show, comedy, whatever it is, you got to go to Game Time. And you know this, and I'm just reminding you because Game Time is the place where you can get your tickets, curated deals. You've got a personal experience. You got all-in pricing. And when you're saying, what is all-in pricing? It means that if you toggle this feature, it shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout, unlike a stadium deal that we know about. Okay, so that is awesome. And you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with using Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Kevin, what time is it?
Game time. Yes. So continuing on the Franco stuff, his lawyer came out and said after this development, quote, "There is no case against Wander. For as many witnesses as they present, there is no case now." The lawyer believes in telling reporters that he expects an acquittal. One of the prosecutors, meanwhile, says that they believe they still have a strong case against Wander.
Again, not a lawyer, but from the TV shows I've watched and the movies I've watched, when your witnesses don't show, your side isn't winning.
Yeah.
So
we watched enough Law and Order and Suits to gather that.
Exactly. So, obviously on the first segment we go, why didn't they show up? What kind of bells does that send
Yeah.
out to the normal folk here?
I would get it if it was the other way around. Out of your 30 plus witnesses, 3 don't show up for one reason or another.
Sure.
You wake up late, you get in a traffic accident, you have a family emergency. But when the roles are reversed of 90% of your witnesses, 95% of your witnesses no show, alarm bells.
100%. 100%. I mean, that's I couldn't even that's like Nick Anderson's strikeout to walk ratio in 2019.
Yeah, before he
Like,
got overused. Well, I guess it was later on before he got overused in the playoffs, and then we
yeah,
never heard from him again.
the the second half, when after the trade, I believe I still have these numbers, I think, ingrained in me. I think it was 41 strikeouts and 2 walks
Yeah,
in the regular season, after they got him from the Marlins. Like, it was just a silly number. This is a silly number. You have 30 people not showing up and only
yeah.
3 did. That's not a that's so again, if you were thinking who is probably quote unquote winning this, I mean, from what we've heard on the evidence, it looks bad for Wander.
Mhm.
Very, very, very bad for Wander. This, why aren't they showing up?
That's a good question. And to me, as much as, you know, I guess it hurts him to have his name continue to be brought up delay after delay after delay, but I feel like the shock factor almost wears off when you keep pushing ahead and not doing anything. And it's like, oh yeah, he's still got trial. What did he do again? Like
Right.
at some point, not to say people will forget, but it gets lost in the translation a little bit. We should note there is still financial component to all this. The Rays technically still owe Wander $172 million of the 182 million 11-year contract they awarded him after his 2021 rookie season. He was paid a portion of his $2 million salary last season until July, when he was shifted from administrative leave to, I believe, the restricted list. In 2025, his salary is expected to jump to $8 million this coming season. My guess and premonition is the Rays will find a way to wiggle out of that, again, putting him on some sort of restricted list, or finding a maneuverability to not pay a guy $8 million to be in another country and not be playing baseball.
Yes, but doesn't the MLBPA kind of have to step up for Wander in this scenario and be like, hey, that's a guaranteed contract. You can't just like put a guy on the restricted list just
Yeah.
for waiting. I don't know.
Well, this is the Rays. They agree to things and then they like to back out of them.
Yes, they do,
Which,
apparently.
can I make a little aside?
Yeah.
Not that this is going to be a whole topic or anything. It seems like the trajectory we're on right now on a Friday, we're going to have to save our discussion on the Rays Rule 5 draft selections to Monday or later on in the week, dive more deep into that and why the Rays didn't keep Evan Reifert. But I read an article on Danny Jansen making the decision to sign with the Rays. I guess he had offers from other teams, multi-year deals from other teams with more money. And Mark Topkin wrote an article about how much Danny Jansen and his wife appreciated Rays staff for flying from Florida to his native or hometown, or where he lives right now, the Chicago area, and sitting with him, breaking bread, having coffee, having breakfast, outlining why we like you, why you're a good fit, why you should come to the Rays, even though we're in flux with the stadium situation in Steinbrenner Field. The face-to-face. The Rays seem to be so good at the face-to-face with their players, with their personnel, and with attracting free agents to their club. But when it comes to navigating the political waters, I guess they don't like doing the face-to-face, it seems like. Because if they did what they did with Danny Jansen, maybe you would have a better, more fruitful relationship with the city council and the county. Just saying.
It gives you kind of a little bit of credence to those who feel like they don't really want the deal to actually come through, because you know that going to a guy, Neander and Kevin Cash flying to Chicago, like that means they know what that means because that's why they're doing it. And
Right.
look at what happened. So why would you leave, for example, your county commission, your city council in the dark of where you're going to be playing, and 30 minutes before the announcement say, hey, by the way, we're moving to Steinbrenner, knowing that that is a very big issue between the counties. Like regionally, we all know the thing between Pinellas and Hillsborough.
Yes.
So they should know it too, and yet you stayed quiet. So I agree with you. Between the lines of what they are able to do to create a rapport with all these players. I mean, you've heard it from everybody that leaves, basically. Tyler Glasnow said it last. I mean, that he had like a beer with Neander even
Correct.
after he was traded. So you hear those things, but yeah, politically speaking, I think it was Kathleen Peters that said the Rays lack political awareness or political
Yes.
skills lately. Yeah.
Yeah, the soft skills, the social skills, they matter.
Yeah.
On the field and off the field. Question here. We put it out on social media. We got some comments. Let's assume for a moment that by hook, by crook, by any measure, by fair trial perhaps, that Wander Franco gets acquitted of the crimes he's accused. Is there any chance in Hades that one, he plays for the Rays, or two, plays for another MLB team? And caveat, we know that the MLB has to do their own independent investigation, and that might lead to this, that, the other thing. But I'm just putting all that together. He gets acquitted. MLB does their investigation. Molly got acquitted, so hey, here we are. That he finds a way into a Rays uniform or some MLB uniform.
If he gets acquitted, I wouldn't be surprised that it would be on the table. However, that would be my answer before Trevor Bauer.
Okay.
Because now with the Trevor Bauer example, it makes it look like if they don't want you in, they don't let you back in.
Yeah. Bad move, and you are not part of our club, no matter how many strikeouts you can garner, no matter how low your ERA will be.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, so I still feel like he's not going to be playing MLB with anybody. Not with
but
the
in
Rays.
that case, if he's not playing MLB in the MLB for any team, how would the Rays weasel out of that contract? I guess
that's where
MLB is going to have to find some cause to nix that deal.
The Rays are going to have to make MLB kind of like push, just like they're pushing on the city council, on the Florida governor, on the commission. The Rays are going to lean to MLB saying, help us out here. MLB is going to have to do something with the MLBPA. And MLBPA is also going to, of course, they have to protect their player. But I have to believe that in this particular case, when you're talking about what you're talking about that Wander's accused of, it would make it kind of, I think, beneficial for the MLBPA to make a stance and say, okay, maybe not the 172 is owed to him, maybe half of it.
Some buyout.
Something like that. I
don't know if a situation like this has ever been brought up, because usually it's a player from Japan coming to the U.S. You have a posting fee. You have some sort of process like this. But with this unique scenario, perhaps the Rays sell him to a team in Mexico or Japan or Korea. I don't know. You're going to have to get really creative with how you work it all out, I guess you could say. So there we are with that. We put it out on the X machine. If Wander eventually gets acquitted, do you think he'll play for the Rays or another MLB team? Kyle Polson says he will never play in the MLB. They blackballed Trevor Bauer and no charges were ever brought against him. NBA Bitcoiner says if he's acquitted of the most heinous charges, then yes, won't be with the Rays though. Daryl Brooks says, don't forget, MLB will do its own investigation and can still deliver punishment even if he is found innocent. Ben says, it's tough because then we'd still be on the hook for all that money. If there's a way they could void the contract easily, I think they do and release him. I know his potential, but I don't care. I think it'd be hard to find a trade partner immediately with all of his baggage. And then Chris Snyder says, yes, with Carson Williams coming up, they would probably trade him if they still have the rights to him. And I brought up this case before. Evan disagrees with me. Ulysses, you probably disagree with me as well. Franco being out of professional baseball for a couple years, might go on 3-4 years before it's all said and done. I would think that maybe you lose a step or two, but then again, a guy as talented as Wander, for him, it might just be like riding a bike. Couple months, some action, some pickup games. All right, I'm back to looking pretty good. Maybe not as good or as potential filled as what he could be, but still a very quality caliber MLB player.
Exactly. So, like, let's say if he was supposed to be a 7-WAR player, 8-WAR player, maybe he's not that. He's a 5-WAR player.
Yeah.
I think, like,
which is still a really darn
which is
good.
still
That's Kyle Tucker.
Exactly. So that's why this story is awful all around.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. There we go. It is a fun Friday. Well, we try to make it. Maybe not so fun anymore. It's unique. But we have baseball trivia and Name That Ward to get to. But first, we have to tell the audience something very important, and that is FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com, join today. You'll get started with 150 buckaroos in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's at FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, Ulysses, it is that time of the week. Baseball trivia, Name That War. Hear the bumper music going?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. My trivia question for you, the Rays signing Danny Jansen. He passed his physical. He is good to go for 2025. And maybe 2026, probably not likely because mutual options are rarely ever picked up, let alone at $12.5 million for the Rays. But let's hope he goes off this upcoming season. And we've probably done a question like this before, but who cares? I had my mind on catchers, and catchers is where I'm going to go. In front of me, I have a list of every catcher who has hit at least 250 dingers at the big league level. I want 6 names. 6 guys who have hit at least 252 dingers as a primary catcher.
Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer was not known as a home run hitter. Strike one.
Damn.
I don't know if he ever got 20 in a season. Maybe
I think
one.
the MVP year, I think he did.
Now, if we were doing like 360 batting averages, he would take the cake there.
Yeah. All right. 250. Let's. Oh, Mike Piazza.
Mike Piazza is numero uno on this list with 399.
Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra is number 4 on this list with 336.
Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench is number 3 on the list with 356. Need 3 more names.
3 more names. Have I seen these guys?
You have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've seen 5 of these other guys play.
Oh, okay. Okay. Not Buster Posey. Not Yachty. Not. Ooh, can Gary Carter get in there? Maybe Fisk? The original Pudge? Oh, let's go with my Pudge. Ivan Rodriguez.
He is number 6 on this list with 311. We need 2 more names.
Let's go with the original Pudge, Fisk.
I need 1 more name. Fisk is number 2 on the list with 366.
Awesome. Okay, we got maybe Jorge Posada, right? Because he played 10 at least. He played from like 96 to like 2014. So that's like almost 20 years. And if he did that, he did 10 a season, 12 season, 13, 14, 15. Jorge Posada.
He is number 10 on this list with 261. Very good, sir. Only
Nice.
one strike, and you answer the question. So the list is in order: Piazza, Fisk, Johnny Bench, Yogi Berra, Lance Parrish, Pudge, Gary Carter, Brian McCann, you watched him, Salvi Perez, Posada, and then with 252, Javi Lopez. So that is the list.
Javi Lopez, man. He was good, man.
Man, we've seen some good catchers.
Good catchers. Yeah. It'll be fun to see that list in like 10 years time.
Yeah.
See if anybody has
Danny Jansen should be on the list. He's going to hit like 45 for us next year, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Steinbrenner, of course. So let's play Name That War, which, if you haven't seen the segment before, is when we take a player from the past and we try to guess their career war according to Baseball Reference, only using our Baseball Archive mind. And today's player from the past, well, I heard the news of the Kyle Tucker to the Cubbies and Isak to the Astros. Boy, Isak's gonna have some fun with that left field.
Indoors too. He won't have to fight the wind conditions of Chicago.
He's going to go off.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the Cubbies and the 2016 World Series. Dexter Fowler was in that team.
Oh, that's your Name That War.
Tell me Dexter Fowler's career war according to Baseball Reference.
That is a really good name. I think also underrated, Dexter Fowler. He had to play, I'm going to say 12 to 15 years in the bigs and probably never got the love he deserved, or maybe he wasn't as good of a player as I thought he was. But I think a real solid journeyman who maybe made like 1 or 2 All-Star appearances and maybe won a couple Gold Gloves. He played mostly in the National League, correct?
Yes.
Thinking of him with the Rockies. Okay, that's probably why I didn't watch a lot of Dexter Fowler. But I don't know if he was ever quite a 2020 guy, but maybe like a 15-25 guy. I don't recall him having that much pop. I'm just going, I think the average line for him would be like a 260 batting average, 12 to 17 home runs, and 20 to 25 stolen bases, drives in 60 or 65. Not saying he did that for his entire career, but probably built up some decent numbers over that span. With that, I will say his career WAR is 18.4.
Dexter Fowler, a one-time All-Star, a winner of the World Series in 2016 with a slash line of, Kevin, you always get this so good, man. The batting average, 259, on base 358, and a slugging of 417. So he was a 775 OPS guy. Now, no 2020 season, although he was pretty close in 2015 when he went 17 and 20. So he was just 3 homers away for doing that. He has a career WAR of 19.4. Very good, Kev.
Holy cow.
Just a couple wins.
I did not look it up ahead of time, I promise. So I'm actually pretty much in the right ballpark of everything. Like
100%.
We got some stolen bases here and there, got some home runs here and there, maintained a respectable or more than respectable average, got that All-Star appearance.
Yep.
Wow. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one.
Pretty good.
That's a good question. Dexter Fowler, that is the type of name we need for Name That War.
Exactly.
Just a little bit obscure to where you could be very close or like off by 15.
Exactly. By the way, to close out, let's guess the salary. Do you want to guess what he earned according to Baseball Reference
in his entire career?
Mm-hmm.
And he played what, 14 years?
Correct.
I'm gonna say he made $70 million.
And underrated again because he actually made $115 million because of that deal he signed after the World Series with the Cardinals, where he was paid $16.5 million a year for 5 years.
And he never made an All-Star appearance with the Cardinals.
No All-Star appearance with the Cardinals. No.
Let's hope that the Giants don't have to deal with that with Willie. Hopefully Willie's very successful with the Giants and doesn't
Exactly.
fall off the table a little bit. I think he'll still work hard and be productive, at least for the first couple years. So there we go. Great stuff. Hope you all enjoyed. Yep, Wander Talk. A little different than Stadium Talk. I'm sure we'll have more of that definitely next week with some major action on the 4. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you on Monday.